some of the session topics that we're going to go through during the module. Well, the module is semesterized, and we're going to cover over 9 specific lectures. Within each lecture is divided into 2 sessions. Each session will last approximately 2 hours. So it's entirely up to you how you structure this, whether you want to do the 4 hours within one sitting or whether you want to split it up. What I would suggest is that you make sure you observe one session in its entirety, if at all possible. So it's all delivered in this semester, semester 2, and we start with an introduction to module, which is this session. We'll then look at the introduction to sports events and the impact of sports events in its broadest sense. Then we'll look at conceptualizing the event. So what are the real benefits of delivering an event, and maybe look at some of those SMART objectives that we referred to earlier within the assignment brief. We'll look at the communications and marketing tools that you could use when delivering your own event. Then we'll explore finance, sponsorship and promotion before going into looking at the event planning process, to which 2 sessions are devoted to that topic. In many cases, you will need to deliver your event as a group, and therefore working as a group and teamwork dynamics are going to be really important. So we'll devote 1 session to that. We'll look at HR management and volunteers and the role that volunteers play within community sport. The actual logistics of running an event and making sure that you're prepared for all eventualities, we'll look at that also. Running the event comes into that previous topic of logistics. How are you going to structure your event? Is it going to be a knockout competition? Is it a ladder competition? Or is it a round robin competition? Well, competition management will allow us to explore different formats of delivery to ensure that you can then select your chosen or preferred format. And how is it you're actually going to implement the event? So we'll look at that in the next session. And you can't just plan and deliver an event in isolation. Prior to that first submission, we would expect you to have given some key consideration to event evaluation. So whether that be through questionnaires or peer observation, we'll look at some of the various ways and techniques that you can undertake event evaluation. Health and safety shouldn't be overlooked, so we'll cover that one off. And then we've got a couple of guest lectures there to finish off the module, looking at event planning for Merthyr Town and also the UEFA Champions League Legacy project that was run in 2017 in Cardiff. To bring it back to the subject area, and this flow diagram or hierarchical chart provides a really nice overview by Yago and Shaw, as cited in Masterman. Captures pretty much all elements and sizes and scales of events. At the top you've got the events, and then from there, what do they look like? And it tries to categorize different types of event. First, you've got an ordinary event, which is unplanned. Then to the right hand side, you've got a special or planned event. And many of the events that you will know about probably come under this one area. It can be split into 2 here. You have major and minor. Major events look to attract large audiences, high status and prestige, wide media attention, possible tradition, incorporating other ancillary events, also expensive to stage, and there could be possible legacies attached to them. Whereas in the minor planned special events, they attract small or no audiences. There's very local interest and there's potentially some tradition attached. Looking at the major events, that can be split into 2 categories again. You have those hallmark major events, which are delivered infrequently and have an international profile and have a fixed location. But also you have mega events. So they can be transient, they can move around, location changes from year to year. And they still have an international profile, but it's changing location. It's a lot of me talking there, so I'm going to hand it over to you now. And using the model produced by Yago and Shaw, please align an example of an event to the following boxes. So those boxes highlighted in amber, the major and minor, I've outlined what they look like. I want you to give some examples and populate those boxes. So can you provide at least 5 examples of a major event and 5 examples of a minor event? Once you've listed these, then can you subcategorize the major events into hallmark and mega events? So how do you split those 5 and which boxes would they come into? Okay, you can work on your own or in groups on this one. Off you go. How did you get on? Well, I've just put a few on the screen now, so we'll just quickly run through some of the answers or the way in which I've looked to populate this. It's not an exhaustive list. You may have come up with many more. Major events, well, it could be the Winter or Summer Olympics, the Paralympics, FIFA World Cup, European Championships, and the others listed there. Minor events, it could be a grassroots football match, or a turn up and play initiatives, fetes, country shows, or just a coffee morning. Then splitting those major events into hallmark and mega, you have the Winter and Summer Olympics, Paralympics, FIFA World Cup, UEFA European Championships sitting in the hallmark category, whereas the mega would be the Tennis Grand Slam or the British Formula 1 Grand Prix or the FA Cup final. And as you can see, what I've done there, I've split off those major ones into hallmark and mega, relating back to the definitions that we outlined on the slide previous.